got activated. I was drilling out of Long Beach, California. My husband was active duty. He got to stay home with the 4 children. They activated my unit. So let's give him a hand. So needless to say, that got us on the news that the reservist is going to war and the active duty guy is staying home. And he wasn't even stationed where we were living, so he had to commute. So anyway, it was a huge toll. It took a huge toll in the family as a whole. He is a retired Navy chief, and we met in the Navy. My youngest son is currently serving in Japan, in Port Wanimi. He's in Japan right now. And I have a son who served in the Army. He spent almost 5 years in Iraq, and he is back home with severe PTSD symptoms. So when I joined the military, I was escaping domestic violence. And I have always been very grateful to the military for the experience, but also for, I think the Navy saved my life. I was safer in a war zone than I was in the environment that I was living in. So I will always be grateful not only to this country, but also to the military. 5 years ago, we came across this story about this man who had served in the U.S. Army with the 82nd Airborne, and he was in Tijuana. And that kind of, like, why is he in Tijuana? Did he retire down there? What's going on? We found out that he was there because he had been deported. And that kind of caught us by surprise, as probably some of you got caught by surprise when you heard the phrase deported vets. And we started communicating with him. His name is Hector Barajas. You have heard his name a couple times already. And we started learning about the issue. What's going on? Why are these people being booted out of the United States after they have served it? And we found out a lot of them had honorable discharges. Their record was squeaky clean, so we couldn't understand why people were being banished from the country that they served with honor. So we became involved. We got to meet them in person, and we, with our close ties to the military, we decided that within our limited resources, we couldn't solve the entire immigration dilemma because we just don't have time, energy, and financial resources to do that. But this was one area that it was really close to our hearts, and that we really could maybe make a difference. If nothing else, let these people know that they are not forgotten. That's already a huge help. Let them know that there's people who care, sharing their stories, making sure that more people know that this is happening, getting more people involved, and build momentum so that ideally in the near future, there will be changes at the legislative level, and we will be effectively helping them in a big way, way more than we could do it just the two of us. So under the umbrella of the Standing on the Side of Love campaign, which I have another representative from that campaign, we brought it across the border. This is a campaign that is nationwide. It was started by Unitarian Universalists. And the mission of this campaign is to harness the power of love to overcome oppression in whichever form it might take. Mm-hmm. Well, this is a form of oppression. So we have come up with our new version of the campaign, Standing on the Side of Love with Deported vets. And when 3 years ago my mother-in-law passed away and left us some money, we decided that we were going to use it to help in some way. And we built a community center where people, different groups, not just deported vets, but activists of all kinds, LGBT or whatever it is, different, the activist community in Tijuana could use it as a resource center, as a place to have their meetings and fundraisers and whatever they thought of, and also for a place for groups from outside of Tijuana could have a place to stay where they could bond together and be in a private setting. So we started hosting groups for a 4-day weekend where they would be out in the community, listening to stories, engage in service projects, visiting shelters, visiting the resources that are available in Tijuana. A lot of the people that have been coming on these border trips are people who are visiting detainees, the people that are waiting to be deported. They are held in detention for a while, making money for the private corporations, CCA and the GEO Group, and eventually they get deported, most of them. Some of them get released, some of them get transferred to another facility, but most of them will end up across the border. So what we're trying to do at Gary Mar, that's the name that we gave our center. Gary is my husband, my name is Mar. Very easy to remember as we get older. We're trying to render the border wall irrelevant by bringing together activists from both sides of the border who are working on similar issues. And by doing that, we are empowering them to become more effective, where they're not duplicating efforts, we are working together towards the same goal. So that's the mission of Centro Gary Mar. The story of Alvaron was just mentioned. We were very involved with that. We were with the family for the last 5 days before he returned to the United States. We were there every step of the way, along with other people who supported Al in his efforts to return to the United States. He succeeded in coming back to the US, to dying in the United States. But that's not all he wanted. He wanted to live in the United States. He wanted to go back to his family that was left behind when he got deported to his native Colombia. He was only in the United States for 48 hours before he passed away, as you heard. So as we continue to meet and listen to more stories of the deported vets, we know that they are spread out throughout the entire city and even beyond Tijuana. They're down in Rosarito, some of them are down in Ensenada. We try to work with all of them. Some of them have organized themselves for purposes of activism, which is awesome. Some of them are more shy, or depending on their personality, they have decided to live on their own. We don't want those to be forgotten. We have contact with quite a few of them, and we're always looking for more. Some of them are struggling to make a living down there because they're trying to do it on their own. There's one in particular who makes things, lanyards and bags, himself. He just rents this little room and he saws all day long, making things to sell, to survive. Their biggest problem is loneliness. A lot of them, they're more fluent in English than Spanish, so even being in the community as a member of the community is difficult for them because Spanish is their second language for a lot of them. So I invite all of you who were not planning on going to Tijuana to please reconsider your position that our center is open to you. If the hotel is full, if the bunker is full, please don't let that stop you. We are happy to host you. There's no charge at all. We're happy to take you back and forth to the bunker so that you don't miss any of the fun that we're going to be having there. So please, we are another resource for lodging, and not just this time around. In the future, if there's a group that, if you like what you see across the border, you want more people to experience what you're going to experience on Sunday and Monday, and you want to bring a group, please contact me and we'll help you make it happen. I believe that's, there's through the Immigration as a Moral Issue, which is a class that I've been teaching at some Unitarian Universalist churches. They get to learn about why people leave their country, who's profiting from the current system, everything that there is to be known about the immigration issue. So out of that, some detention visitation programs have been born. On the last class, people brainstorm ways to do something about it. Okay, you got all this knowledge, you know so much about the issues, now what are you going to do with it? It's not just learning about it, it's taking action. That's the most important part of it. Right?
Yes.
You agree with me?
Right.
Okay, so this is my hint to you. You are learning a lot about different aspects of fighting for peace as veterans. Let's take that knowledge and do something with it. Find where your passion is and keep it, contact that person that can guide you to do something at the local level. Thank you so much for your giving me the opportunity to speak to you today.
Muchas gracias.
Well, two things you heard. You heard about action, taking action, and not just talking about these things, and if we feel good about it, it's going to happen kind of thing. So we got to have to make these things happen. And only through this kind of networking and linking up with folks in the community and taking what we have as resources to that community and sharing that with them, we can build these bonds that Mara's talking about. We can build the confidence. In addition, we'll be doing claims advocacy out of the support house in the next 6 or 7 months. And we'll start reintegrating these people into some kind of a support system. But the other thing that Mara said was, they're lonely. You can imagine how lonely that situation is down there. And as veterans, they've lost their bond not only with their families and everything else, but their identity of probably one of the most important things that ever happened in their life. And so our connection as Veterans for Peace, going down there and working with these folks and mentoring and listening to their ideas and how they want to work, empowers them. It gives them self-esteem. It lets them know they're not alone down here in Mexico. There's a national organization up here that's working for them, and they're going to get out of there and they're going to get home. And we're a beacon of light in that belief for them. And that's where we need to stand in this issue. We need to be the beacon. And we also need to be the provisioner of whatever resources are needed by these folks that are on the ground working this issue when they call on you to assist. So with that...
just one more thing. May we please join?
Yes, you may join. Thank you, Mara. I appreciate you, my dear. All right.
All right.